Hey, welcome back to the channel. I've got a question for you. Does this look like how you take Do You Bleed lane in AQ? It probably is, and it's not fun. It makes absolutely no sense, and I got some great news for you. There are significantly better options, or at least a lot faster, and I'm going to show them to you. Let's take a look. All right, so this first great option is Squirrel Girl. She's a lot of fun. She's also incredible for this lane. In particular, I want to show you this fight. It can be a little bit tricky. Wasp can be rough because Squirrel Girl has the built-in evade counter, as you're seeing right there. When you transfer Tippy over to the opponent with a 40 combo or more, then they cannot evade or auto block for the duration of Tippy being on them. You saw that we had a 40 combo when we transferred. So Wasp could not evade. The bleeds are actually doing really good damage. We're gonna have an SP2 coming up here. I'm gonna build up to the 40 combo and then throw the SP2. And I think you're gonna be pretty surprised at how much damage it actually does. It's great for this lane because all of those bleeds count, the crit bleeds and everything. Here we go, we're setting up for it and I'd like you to see it. You know, of course, still baiting the heavies and the SP1s, but here it comes. And that was about 30%, a little over 30% loss of life there for Wasp. And then of course the bleeds are still there. I wanted to point it out though also because it does a lot of hits. And if you're gonna use Squirrel Girl for this fight in these lanes, I want you to be particularly careful on cascading failure. If you have a couple of the debuffs going in and enough of those hits on the SP2 crit, you could end up with a real problem. I actually made that mistake myself, so I want you to learn from it. And then also on Power to Cower, when the combo resetting when you use the SP3, if you're an experienced Squirrel Girl player, you might be used to going to your SP3 to really build up your combo. And unfortunately, because of that global, it really works against you in this case because you're gonna have your combo reset to 0. So just be mindful of that. Make sure you work in the SP2s and a lot of heavies. She's great for it. I know a lot of people like to use Nick Fury. He can be very, very good. Of course, it bleeds to significant damage. I'm not going to show a Fury fight because I think there's plenty of those out there. I particularly don't like it because I need to get him to his second life. The Wasp fight sometimes can take a long time if I don't do that right away. And then there's just not a lot of room for air. Why am I showing you Apocalypse? Well, I'm showing you Apocalypse because the best option, in my opinion, kind of needs Apocalypse to come along. And Apocalypse is actually quite good. He has plenty of lanes in AQ that he could take. He applies a lot of debuffs. He is a ability accuracy, 100% minus 100% ability accuracy on purification of debuffs. So he can land all of those debuffs and handle those things for you. Plus he is a villain, and that is how I charge him up on the lane where only villains can gain power. I do bring in Corvus just in case, and because he is valuable. I take the first tech fight with Corvus to get the tech charge, and then I use Apocalypse for the rest of it. So, and then if you really want to, there's a MCoC at the end of that lane. Pick up the evade and auto block charge with your Corvus there, and maybe even whittle MCoC down. And then just a few heavies can finish off that MCoC. Yeah, I am saying go ahead and do the Corvus timeout, but it's a great way to pick up those charges for Corvus, and then you get a fight down for Apocalypse, and then Apocalypse can come in, and as you saw in there, I think that was the Empowered Immunity lane. I just take that first fight against Taskmaster, and Apocalypse has his 4 genetic code, and Corvus finishes off the rest of that lane. Then you make Wolverine a horseman. I'm not showing the Wasp fight. He does do that very well. It's just a series of baiting out the heavies and the SP1s and punishing that. The fight takes between a minute and a minute and a half at the most. But I wanted to show you the rest of these. We've already seen Wasp here. But same thing, so there's even Limber on these, which works out very well because you can often end up in a point where you're baiting heavies, and because of Wolverine's healing, it doesn't matter. He heals back all that chip damage. I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at this. You know, on this fight, again, if you're taking this lane, you probably have a good idea on how to take these, but maybe, you know, just in case, obviously you're baiting the SP1 to ensure that Phoenix does as little healing as possible there. She does get the power gain, so just be a little careful with it. And you know, if she gets to the SP2, she does. But you'll see from how quickly this fight goes that it almost isn't really going to matter. Wolverine's damage is significant on these, and he's bleeding so much. Look at this. And to me, this is just so much more fun than bringing in Corvus and hitting into the block and just I don't know. I don't enjoy it. I don't like it. I tried using Nick Fury. I was not a fan of that, and so I just got into the habit of bringing in Corvus, hitting into the block, and then that just led to a lot of timeouts. And if I made a mistake, wasting items, which I really didn't enjoy. Also, with Wolverine, his bleed is so strong that you really rarely end up in that situation where you're hitting Phoenix when she has that first death, and then she can punish you. You can just let those bleeds do their job. Moving into the Electro here, it's fun to watch because having taken this lane and just beat up on them with Corvus, to see this version of it, do this version of it, just so much more fun. And then, of course, with Electro, you want to end in maybe, I shorten my combo once I push him to 1 bar of power, so I can just make sure I get back in time. The bleeds do tremendous damage, so I don't really miss out, I think, too much from trying to land a 5-hit combo. Not sure what all those extra hits were there, just showing off, I guess. And then, like I said, you're baiting heavies a lot, or you're not able to just sit there and parry stun. So the healing that Wolverine does keeps your health bar pretty full. 40 seconds, 39 seconds, and that fight was over. Oh, it's a good thing, right? And then we coming up here against this Hulk. And I think I'm even going to show the Moon Knight fight there. I make a bunch of mistakes, but it's fun to go ahead and take a look at. So we're going up against this Hulk, pretty beefy here. It's going to take a little bit longer than the Electro fights. For some reason, especially when I'm tired, and sometimes we're doing these in the morning at the this last path here, Hulk's SP1 can get me a little bit there. So again, with Wolverine and his healing, I just block it. I don't even try to evade it, especially if I know I'm tired and not playing real well. I'm just going to block it. I think we got one coming up here. I'm almost positive we do. Probably going to evade this SP2, and then he's going to get another special one. Here we go. There it is. Yeah, I knew there was one. And so you just do that. And even with me trying to bait out that first SP2 and then going through that, we are a minute into the fight. Hulk is down to 20% health. It's just the same thing over and over. I just kind of want to give you an idea of this, of how quickly this can happen and how much better this is than just trying to hit into the block and sometimes having to do those timeouts over and over if the AI is not cooperating or something like that. So I think this is a lot of fun. I would recommend still bringing Corvus with you, and here's why. And it's a really annoying reason. Is I do this pretty much every AQ now. This is my paths. I'm doing it right now, actually, as we speak. First day of the new AQ started, and I have the Do You Bleed lane. But I think it was 2 AQs ago. I had a horseman ability not take. I charged up Apocalypse as normal. I clicked the little buttons and what have you. And then Wolverine went in, and he was not a horseman. He was still able to get the fights down. They just took a lot longer. And I think the Phoenix one became an issue, if I remember correctly. And I ended up still having to just hit into the block with Corvus. So, that's a bug in the game. There's really not much you can do about it. Hopefully they do get it fixed, so it's just 100% reliable. But I think a lot of us are taking Corvus and AQ anyway. It's just a great insurance policy. And then I'm just going to leave this up. Thank you so much for watching, and you're just going to see how much damage Wolverine can do and how much healing he can do and help out a player who makes mistakes like I do. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and let me know what you think. Do you like, no, dude, Nick is still the best, or hey, you know what? No, I'm going to hit into the block with Corvus. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow on Twitter at Vega Gaming 583. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.